excited to continue our conversation today about strategic plans. If you're curious about what a strategic plan is and why it's important to revisit once it's created, go back to our first two videos in the series. Today, we're going to be diving into a specific example of what strategic planning can look like. Ray, can you start by giving us an overview of what one client was looking to do in their lab and what we've seen in working with them?
There's a technology company out on the West Coast that we've been working with for years, and they're in the AI simulation world. They create platforms for it. So the interesting thing about a couple of the projects, I'll call them the legacy labs that they have. Um, they have some buildings that have basically 20 watts a square foot across the whole footprint, which is really good for a lab building. And so I wouldn't say that's bad. But in the world of simulation and AI and the ability to crunch a lot of information in a really short period of time, you need a lot more power. And if you need a lot more power, you need a lot more cooling. Those two things go hand in hand. So the projects we've been working on with that particular client have been around driving schedule to move very quickly. So they have a need to bring in more power from the power company, some of which is limited by the power company and the distribution grid that's in that area. And then some of it is limited by the ability to get cooling equipment in a short period of time.
It feels like this is the kind of company that wants to be the first to market. Would you agree with that? And how does that impact how they're approaching lab design?
This is the type of company that moves really fast, does not want to be the last one to market. So they're looking at things in a very, very fast-paced world. They're pre-installing a lot of equipment that they don't even have power to turn on. So when the power gets there, they can fire everything up and get right into it.
What are some of the things that you've really enjoyed about working with this client on these projects?
The thing I love about that particular client and that project is it's a great parallel to what a lot of our science and R&D clients are dealing with at a maybe smaller scale, and maybe a less defined risk value. So that particular technology company is all in. All the chips are in. They're doing it as fast as they can. They're pulling power together because they're providing the technology to the R&D facilities in the world to help them do these simulation labs that we're talking about. So that it's almost the infancy of what we're really trying to say is the future of research and development in whether it's electronics or whether it's electronic devices or microelectronics or biotech or pharma. All of these simulations, cell and gene therapy, all of these things take a lot of mathematical capability and data to crunch the simulations. And it takes a lot of this AI software that's going to help these companies do it.
To build off of what you're saying, what kind of impact do these simulation labs have? How are they changing the way that the industry is operating?
You could do a lot of science in a building that has less power, but you're doing it with manual manipulation. And you don't have the ability to do the test 50 times in a computer simulation. Whereas if it takes you a week to do that test, right, you can get through 50 simulations in a year if you're lucky, right? And the simulation labs are going to be able to do that within a day. So the computing power and the power that it takes, electrical capacity and power that it takes to create that computer network and AI technology is going to be, it's going to turn, you're saving years. You're taking a year and turning it into a week.
And with that, we're wrapping up our three-part series on strategic plans. I appreciate all of your insight, Ray. Have a great day.